All right, our team coverage takes us now to News 13's Victoria Dunkle, who is live in northern Buncombe County.
And Victoria, right now you are tracking conditions and getting us tips for managing the travel conditions out there.
Exactly. I mean, we know that we're watching a changing situation. So right now we're dealing with wet roads, and you do need to be cautious on those. And that is something to pay attention to if you're out on the roads right now. But if you're heading out later, we need to make sure you know how to handle it as well. So I'm going straight to the source here. This is Trooper Kelly Rhodes. He's with the North Carolina Highway Patrol. You and I were talking about this being one of the busiest days. We'll see so much traffic today. What is your advice for everyone who's thinking about hitting the road today?
Well, a couple things they need to do is plan for heavy traffic. It is the heaviest traveling holiday. You got to be able to watch your major intersections where two interstates come together, or in your major cities. If you can avoid those during the peak travel times, which is 8, 12, and 5 today. If you can get an early jump like right now is the time you need to be out and moving.
Now, you and I were talking about something else that's going on, because while we need to be doing our part to driving safely, you're going to be out there in force too. We're going to see a lot of the troopers patrolling and making sure that the roads are safe for us, but there's a bigger goal for that. Tell me about that.
Yes, ma'am. It's called Vision Zero. Last year at this time, we didn't have any fatals on I-40 in North Carolina, so we are putting all of our additional manpower today and Sunday on those peak travel days for the next 24 hours. We're going to be out in force to try to make sure that happens again this year.
No deaths to traffic accidents over the holidays. I like that plan. Sounds like a good one. And you know what? He's also going to be walking us through some other tips and stuff, including what we need to take with us in the car. We're going to be talking about why you don't want to leave home without this today, and a few other things to know as you get ready to head out so you have a safe holiday travel time. Reporting live in northern Buncombe County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle is live in Buncombe County. And Victoria, at this point, rain is the biggest challenge for people heading out right now.
Yeah, it's been raining steady pretty much all through the night. We're here in just near the Woodfin entrance ramp to the future I-26. Traffic's been going along pretty quickly and moving as you would expect at this time, but the situation is changing. Just since we spoke last time, the temperature has dropped. It's become noticeably colder. Trooper Kelly Rhodes and I were just talking about that. As we're talking about things we need to make sure we have with us as we head out on the roads, you have some ideas and tips for us to make sure we're traveling when we're out in the rain, snow, whatever comes our way. What do we need to have with us?
Well, we need an emergency kit like what we have here. It's got jumper cables, it's got some flashlights, it's got some gloves. I would also throw in some duct tape if you can, because that and a good screwdriver can get you a long way and getting you back on the roadway.
And of course, we also recommend that you take some food, some water, blankets, and so on in case it does turn into more wintry conditions. So let's walk through. Right now, we've got the rain. What's the biggest challenge to driving in the rain?
For right now, it's just going to be staying in water on the roadways, and what you got to hopefully everybody's prepared and got good tires. The thing that the next possible thing that you're going to need to do is decrease your speed and allow some following distance. The slower you go, the less likely you're going to hydroplane.
Now, the next thing, what happens when the temperature drops a little bit more, things start to ice over a little bit? What's the big challenge in that kind of condition?
Well, what you're going to have there is the situation of black ice, where you can be traveling along and all of a sudden you enter a curve or go across a bridge and you got a freezing condition. So you're going to have to plan for those things as you're traveling. Know where the road has got some shadow spaces, where there's buildings on one side that's got the road blocked on the other. If you can keep that in your plans, then you're going to be okay. And
what happens with the snow when that comes? What is our best advice on approaching that kind of a condition?
Obviously, you're going to need those good tires again. You're also going to need a decreased speed and allow for a lot of traffic at these major intersections like we were talking about earlier.
And that decreased speed is a good advice. Do not be trying to race down the road and beat this storm, because you know what? Trooper Kelly and his colleagues are going to be out there making sure the roads are safe, and if you are going over the speed limit, they're going to remind you need to slow down. It is a very safe tip that you need to follow as you're heading out there today. We're going to keep tracking the conditions for you, bring you more tips as you head out there today to make sure your holiday travel is safe.
We pick up our team coverage with the News 13's Victoria Dunkle in Buncombe County.
And Victoria, you've gone straight to the source for tips on how to remain safe on the roads.
Absolutely. We're seeing the traffic pick up here along future I-26 here in Buncombe County, and that means a lot of people are getting ready to either start their day for work or travel. So we called on our friend Trooper Kelly Rhodes to get us some information here. We were talking about the conditions. Right now the roads are wet, and people need to pay attention to that as they're heading out. What's your advice as people are just getting ready to start their trips?
They just need to be careful about standing water and also the possibility of black ice.
Well, you bring up a good point. Let's take a look at some of the tips that you have for us for black ice. What do we need to think think about in case we come across that patch?
If you find yourself in that situation, first thing you don't want to do is panic and overreact. Second thing, just take your foot off the accelerator. Do not hit your brakes. If you start to slide, just turn into the skid. And if you have to find a soft landing place, that's what you should look for. Someplace with traction, a ditch bank if necessary. You just don't want to, you're trying to avoid hitting other cars.
Absolutely. And the other thing is there are going to be a lot of other cars out there. What are the state troopers going to be doing as far as increased patrols and special efforts to make sure we stay safe?
Well, we're looking at doing a clicking and ticket over the next 4 days. We're also going to have a special emphasis on the interstates to look for that aggressive driving and high speeds. We're also looking for following too closely, seat belts, everything that's involved.
All of those are great safety tips too. Don't be speeding, wear your seatbelts, pay attention to the other drivers on the road for you. Those are the tips we're getting today as we're getting ready to see thousands of people. I believe it's 41 million people are expected to travel 50 miles or more from their home for this holiday weekend, and that is going to start today. We'll be back out here live with more tips for keeping you safe as you make that trip. Reporting live in Buncombe County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
All right, and we are tracking the impact of the storm with team coverage this morning.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle is live in Buncombe County, and Victoria, the rain is covering the roads there right now.
Absolutely. They've been pretty soggy all morning long. Traffic is still moving fairly smoothly. This is along future I-26 near the Woodfin exit, but we have been finding there's some snow falling, as you were talking about earlier. Our photojournalist Adam Hilberry went out in Haywood County and sent this back to us. Take a look at the snow that's coming down in this area. While we do that, I want to talk to State Trooper Kelly Rhodes about the conditions. We're seeing some drivers now facing snow-covered roads. What's your advice for getting out here safely on these roads?
Well, first, people are going to have to adjust their travel time to allow for the weather and the increased traffic due to the holidays.
Kind of a double whammy today. That's what's making this such a dangerous situation with this winter storm coming through, the timing of it, because we've got thousands more people on the road right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the other thing, as we come back out here live, is you have some advice for something we need to have in our car with us. Whether it's rain, snow, sunshine, or any time we're traveling, we need an emergency kit, right?
Absolutely. This is one of the cases that you can buy. It's rudimentary, but it's got some things. It's got batteries for a flashlight, jumper cables. I would suggest also you need a duct tape and a screwdriver of some sort. If you've got those items with you, it can help you get back on the road to get to at least to a place where you can get some further help.
And the other thing we need to remember too, especially when we're traveling in conditions where we could get stuck, is we need to have the water, the blankets and so on with us too, right?
Absolutely. Charge cell phone, blankets, food, absolutely.
What is your advice for us as we can say we're hitting these rain-covered roads? Best advice there.
Things you got to look for is you're worried about hydroplaning, black ice, in these temperature-sensitive areas. Just following distance and decrease speeds. And
we're going to see plenty of your colleagues out here on the roads with us too, keeping us safe. Tell me about the special effort that's being done, especially on interstates. You have a goal this year.
Yes, ma'am. Last year during the holiday period, we did not have one fatality on I-40 in the state of North Carolina. It's called part of our Vision Zero program. So that's what we've done. We've got a special emphasis today and Sunday, those two being the highest traffic period days. We're going to have every available person on I-40 and most of our major interstates to try to duplicate that.
All right. Well, we appreciate knowing that you're going to be out there helping keep us safe. Thanks for all the tips this morning. Appreciate the information.